Yes, I'm starting recording now.
There you are, Dee. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Dee.
You look fine.
Good.
Oh, yay, we can see Dee now. Hi, Dee.
Hi.
I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining today's club meeting. I'm still excited to see everybody. And tonight we have the pleasure to invite Kai to today's demo. We'll give him an hour to demo us on the portrait, charcoal portrait painting. And if you haven't joined us before, this is the agenda that we're going through today. So first, I'm Angela Xu. I'm the host for tonight's meeting, and we will spend some time chat and warm up, and then there will be some officer announcement regarding to how the club activity or next group project, virtual art, Sunnyvale Art Library events, etc. And in the end of the meeting, there will be a competition winner announcement. So that's the agenda for today. So if you know me, you would know that I like to warm up the meeting with some games. So for today, we're going to play a game called Name Tag. It's so super easy. So I'm gonna stop sharing because we will need to use the gallery view where you can see everybody. Do you know how to use gallery view to see everybody's face?
Yes.
Okay, if you go to the top right of the Zoom app, there is a view function and you can select speaker view, gallery view. So if you select on gallery view, you can see everybody's name. All good?
Yes.
Okay, so what we do with the name tag thing is I will start by calling somebody's name. And when you're called, you say, hi, everybody, and then you call the next person's name. It's just a simple warm up. So yeah. I'm seeing Wei Wei. I don't think I've met you, so I'm gonna
How are you,
get
Wei
you
Wei?
started.
Hi, Angelo. Yes. Yeah, I just joined the group recently. Okay, for this month.
Welcome.
But I was, I'm like a returning artist, and
Oh,
in the club, I would say probably 3 or 4 years.
okay.
But anyway, and after that, just so busy, with the families and everything. So I just stayed, sidelines.
Hi. Oh, good to see you back. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, you are April? I'm sorry.
Angela.
Okay, Angela. Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you here. And you can call the next person's name. If you check the gallery view, you will see everybody's name here.
Let's see. Well, anyone. I don't know. I may know some of you, but not all of you. But
And you can call just one person.
over from there.
Their name's on the thing. You can read the name.
Oh, hi, Chris. Okay, then Chris, would you like to take over from me?
Thank you. I will call Matt.
Hi everybody, Matt Courtney. Most of you know me around for a while. I got some of my paintings in the background. So quick introduction. I'll call Angelo.
Oh, hey. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm having a nice day. I took the COVID test a couple days ago. I'm negative. I just have a cold.
Oh.
So
Yay.
yeah, I noticed some people are sniffling. I was sniffling a little bit too. So okay. So I guess I'll do Ewan.
Oh, hi. I'm Ewan, and what should I say? I don't know. Nothing much to report. But I have been keeping myself busy on painting and calligraphy. So that keep me very busy actually. Yeah. And I would like to call Gita.
Geeta.
Hi, everybody. My name is Geeta Taneja, and I'm really happy to be here because I see all the smiling faces, you know, and it's such a relaxed and nice Zoom meeting because I have attended many more, but I find yours very relaxing and, you know, full of fun, and everybody's joking. There are games. So I look forward to be part of this meeting.
Thank you,
so much.
Geeta.
And I would request Neela.
Hi. I've joined art club last year. I was just going through my mails, and I can't believe that I feel that I'm like this old person in the, I mean, you know, I'm like there for a long time. That's what I feel. And I really love this club. All the people are so nice and warming. And last month, Angela made me go through this challenge of painting every day. So October has been like doing nothing, but I started sketching now in last 2-3 days. So I'm just glad to be back again.
Yay, thank you.
And now, Robin, I don't know you, so maybe I'm calling your name.
Okay. Hi, Neela. Nice to meet
Hi.
you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I've been with the club about a year as well. And I feel the same way. Everybody's so nice, and it's really a fun, active group, and fun to participate in the kinds of things that you guys do. So I've really enjoyed being in the club. And let's see. Oh, I've been painting a lot too. It's kind of like, what else are you gonna do? You know. Plus, I love it. So
yeah,
it does. I guess I have been doing it more lately. So let's see. How about Dee?
Okay. I've been in the, thanks to Chris, I've been in the club off and on. I don't know how many years, but I think it's such a good club. And I think that our new president is really a plus. And
thank you.
Yes, she is.
Trying to get into the different projects that you've gotten us into. And I think they're really fun. I really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee.
Oh, I should call somebody. Who hasn't been called?
I think Jenny.
Jenny, okay.
Jenny.
Oh, I'm Jenny Pan. Chris brought me to this club since 2012. I really enjoy attending all the meetings, and it's very happy to see when we came back. And I love this club, and I also love the demo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny.
Jenny. Yeah, I was just say, Jenny, thank you to invite me back to the group. Yeah. I'm happy to be back here.
Yeah, seems like we called everybody except for Kai. Kai, do you want to join us now or later? I know you're preparing for the demo.
Oh, no, hi. Yeah, my name is Kai. It's my first time here. Excited to hopefully do a okay demo later for you guys. Yeah, I'm based in San Jose area, and yeah, I draw and paint.
Do you teach?
Yeah, I do. I've been teaching, it's been close to maybe 6 years now. And I actually opened up my own atelier in Cupertino, where we teach 19th century classical realism techniques. And that's been going on. I opened that up when I graduated college 2 years ago. So it's been 2 years now, and been doing pretty good. Yeah, and I also teach in a variety of other institutes and places. Like I teach workshops occasionally at Pacific Art League around locally, and also I'm a mentor on Sentient Academy, where we offer high quality art instructions, and yeah, like a few other places I can't really remember right now, but I teach around San Francisco sometimes too, but yeah.
Great.
Hey, thank you, Ty. Okay, so now let's go back to where we are originally. So for the announcements, we have a few here. So first is the treasure report. Penny is not able to join us, so I will read it for her. I can't see it if I'm presenting, sorry. So I'll just read it to it. So until end of August, we have $5,598. We had income from membership, yard sale, and 10% from the painting sales. And we have expenses for demo artists, Zoom account for 1 year. And then we have the bank ending balance for September is September 30 is $5,616. Okay, and then I will pass the ball to Angelo. Hey, what's
Can I
that?
talk about the treasurer's thing first? I have a bill. Who do I send it to? Do I send it to Penny or you? I bought some more cards for $16, 500 cards for our demo, for our demonstrations. Who do I send the bill to? To Penny or you or?
Can we talk about that offline? I'm not sure if Penny can still help. I think she mentioned she can do some basic thing, but probably not the dedicated work anymore.
Okay.
And by the way, if anyone in this group is interested in helping out the group, we need a treasurer position now because Penny is a school teacher and she's struggling between the distant learning thing. So if one of you has a spare time, you can help out, let us know so we can fill the treasurer position. Okay. So let me share virtual library art show and then Angelo can talk to it. Thank you, Angelo, for making this fantastic app.
Thank you. Well, I think if you know my address, my email address, I gave information both on Facebook and I sent an email. But if you want, send at least 4 images to me. And it shouldn't be something that's from previous library shows, just something new. So up to 4. And I had a form to send out to you. So if you want to fill out, the only reason I have the form is I'm trying to figure out a way of making it more organized. But if you're not able to download the form, just send me, along with the pictures, the title, your name, the media, the size, and maybe some way of contacting you and stuff. Oh, also the price and stuff. The library, the library is not allowed to be a part of any transaction and stuff. But if somebody's interested in your work, they'll be able to contact you and stuff. So I think one of the things I forgot to mention is, if you don't mind, I can put either your email or your website when I put the pictures on the Facebook photo album and stuff, so that if they want to contact you, let's say they're interested in the painting that you put on the Facebook page, they can contact you. So I think the deadline's October 30th, right? So just send it. You still have 2 weeks to go, so just send it to me then, and I will try to post everything by the first week of November. I'm kind of coordinating it with the librarian, Aiden. So I'm going to give her a flash drive with the all of the artwork, and I'll give it to her so that she can download it and put it. So she'll make a separate library library Facebook photo album as well. So and my email address, ninongangelo@gmail.com. So if anybody has any questions, you can ask me now, or you can email me later.
Angelo, can you just put your email in the chat?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll do that right now. So, okay. And, you know, I appreciate everybody for doing it and stuff, and the library appreciates it as well, because we, you know, since we're not able to do the in-person thing, they were kind of disappointed and stuff. But now if we're able to do a virtual thing, the libraries, it wants to show their appreciation. They want to thank everybody who participates and stuff. So thank you everybody who wants to participate. I think I've received 12 so far, so it's pretty cool. So thank you everybody.
Wow, thank you, Angelo. And I just wanted to add one thing. So we invited Sunnyvale Mayor to be, he will be picking one of his favorite painting, and we will get a virtual reward to the artist.
Yeah. Tell the mayor, yeah, maybe, you know, you'll vote for him if if you're a Sunnyvale resident, just say, you know, yeah, I'll, you know, if you want my vote and stuff, you know, somewhere in the painting you can put that.
Great. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's it. I think, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Angelo. And for membership, is there any update from Jenny, Ewan?
Okay, for the membership, last month in September, we have recruited 6 renewed members and 2 new members. So now we have a total 46 paid members. And there are still 13 members from last year. We didn't get any response from our calling. So, but I think, I guess in 1 month or 2, we are going to start new registration for the 2021, right?
Yes.
So, so I think by that time, we'll put more efforts on getting them back. And in the meantime, I think we will still encourage our members to tell your friends about our program and invite them to join us, just like how Jenny bring Wei Wei in again. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Yuan. And public venue, Chris, would you like to talk about it?
Yes, I'm going to have another notice in the newsletter shortly for the 4 venues that we have that are available, and you can respond. Whoever gets to me first will get the spots. I have a real bug about the fact that we lost 3 spots again at the bean scene because people are not swapping. They're not trading. They're taking their pictures off, leaving empty spots, and the guy takes them and puts something of his own there. So that when I say this is what you do, you trade pictures. You don't take them down until the next person is ready to hang. So now we're down to 13 spots at the bean scene. And my other thing is that, you know, when I put the thing out about Red Rock, that we have it through March, and it's a 1-month commitment, but in October, November, because it's a half a month, it'll be there till December 1st. Anyway, I have commitments from people through January, at the end of January now, because people really just responded and wanted to be there. So there's one place that can have 9 little ones or 3 big ones or 6 mediums, and another place where there are 5 mediums. So, and it's upstairs again, not downstairs. And so anyway, we're all set for that. And then the other thing is that, what was my other thing? I guess that's all I really have, but I really, really want you to swap and not take it away until the other person is meeting you. And this is at all the venues. This is what you're supposed to be doing. That's why I send you the names of the people that are supposed to take theirs down. And if you're the one taking down, don't do it until you hear from the other person. Okay? And if you have a question, you can contact me and I'll tell you who needs to contact you. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. And for the group art project is a fun thing that our club members do. If you haven't joined us before, we already completed jigsaw project where everybody put a jigsaw block, and then we put all the jigsaw together. I will show the picture later. And last month we did the Bring the World Together. It's a COVID theme. We wanted to show what people are doing during this COVID time in their patio. It was a fun project. And this month we're working on the postcard right now. So if you're in this project, you will receive a notification by Mary or by Kentucky. And I think we will spend around 2 months to complete this project. But if you have any other fun group art ideas, feel free to let myself or board members know. Then we can do it together in November's meeting. So here is a look of what it looked like. Some of you might seen it before. I'm just showing in case you haven't seen it.
Beautiful.
Yes, thank you, Wei Wei.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is for the Bring the World Together. I think people are just creative and it was fun.
Very nice.
I have a question. How many days are we allowed to have the postcard before we're supposed to mail it to the next person?
I remember Mary said 4 days.
Okay.
Yes, but I'll check the email to confirm. So Kentucky already sent out, this is what she has, and there will be 4 people receive her postcard, and you can just paint. Mary said you can paint on both sides, first and back, front and back, and then she will figure out how to put it into the, put them together when we're displaying. So far it's gonna be virtually put together and shared with the club member. But when we have opportunity to display in public venue, maybe library, we will put them all together and have a show.
I received my postcard today,
Woohoo!
so I'm looking forward to working on it.
Cool. Anyone else receive it?
Pardon me?
I'm asking, besides Robin, does
Oh.
anyone else receive it? Because I haven't. Maybe
I didn't sign up for it, so probably I may not receive, correct? If you don't sign up?
Right. Right, you needed to sign up.
Okay, no problem.
Well, the first people that are getting them are Andrea, Robin, Mary, and Donna.
And I didn't check the mail today, so that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so Kai, if you're ready, I'm gonna introduce you and then we can start your demo.
Except that wasn't Andrea supposed to tell us something?
You mean the competition winner?
Yeah.
That's the end of the meeting. So after the demo.
Okay, I don't even know how to vote. I can't figure out how to vote.
Oh.
I'll show you. I'll show you when the competition topic comes up.
Right. Right.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. So Kai is I don't know. I feel like Kai is so young, too young to be a demo artist, but when you see his artwork, it's really amazing. I feel like he's been painting more than 20 years, the artwork he's delivering. And he was featured by the Southwest Art magazine, 21 under 31 artists to watch. So I don't know if you ever read the Southwest Art magazine. I think it's Prestige Art magazine. And he's a founder and director of the Color Atelier. And he's also an instructor at the Sentiment Academy. That's, yeah, and Pacific Art League. So while Kai is demonstrating, I will share his Instagram and his website. So when you have a chance, you can take a look. So Kai, are you ready to start?
Yeah, I'm ready. Give me one second. Let me just switch my camera because I'm not on my actual camera right now. I'm on my webcam.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
There we go. All right. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
All right.
I see one camera. Are you sharing 2 or just 1?
Huh? What's up?
I see one camera. Are you sharing one or two?
Oh, no. I just switched cameras. Like, this should be a different angle right now, right?
Oh, okay.
Should the rest of us say stop video so we're not taking the screen?
Yeah.
No?
You can pin just his video. If you hover over his video and then there's like dots button.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Can everyone see me?
Yes.
All right, cool. Let's see. I'm gonna go on speaker view just so I can kind of see myself too. All right, great. So the reference picture is something that you guys sent me. Hopefully, Angela, you have, everyone has this reference. So, because I don't think they'll be able to see it right over here. Today, what I'm going to be doing, just because it's 1 hour, I'm just going to be doing a simple charcoal study of this reference. And depending on how we go about the demonstration, I might only just use a combination of vine charcoal and eraser, or we might even be able to bust out some of the white and black charcoal pencil. But yeah, for every time I do demonstrations, I usually like it when students ask me questions, or I don't mind talking when I do demonstrations. So if anyone have any questions whatsoever about my process, or just about drawing, or just art in general, feel free to let me know, and yeah, we can have like a discussion while I kind of do this. Anyways, to kind of introduce the materials I'm going to be using, I'm going to first set up a ground here, and I'm going to be using a Viva paper towel and General charcoal powder. So I'm just going to dip a little bit of this Viva paper towel into the charcoal powder, and after that, I'm just going to kind of apply it onto my paper. The paper I'm using right now is a bristle paper. So it's very smooth with minimum to no textures. And I'm just trying to do this so that I can create a bit of a base, a bit of a ground for me to, layer the drawing on top of too. So if we were to do a painting right now, this basically is kind of a version of me applying a thin wash of color as the underpainting, or of the undertone. Okay, all right, so skip that just a little bit, just so that it's not pure white. Yeah, just kind of knock back some of that pure light value of the paper. All right, cool. So right now, what I have over here is basically, I think this is a willow charcoal, maybe. It might be a willow, it might be a vine, not really sure, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that it's a soft charcoal. And all right now, let's see. What it is I'm basically gonna do is I'm just gonna approach this, just kind of like how I approach mainly all my drawings and paintings, which is basically in a very abstract manner, right? So I'm not really trying to worry too much about the overall details. Right now, the only thing I'm trying to worry about is just the overall light and dark values, the shapes that I'm seeing. Okay. All right. And feel free to let me know if you guys have any questions. Don't be afraid to kind of speak up.
Hi, can you kind of talk about how do we select the picture to paint? We had email exchange and I feel it's interesting. Where do we start? We have a bunch of pictures. Which one is a good one for us to paint?
Oh yeah, so yeah, about photo references, that's a really good point. So usually for photo references, you want to choose something, well, first of all, you want to choose something that is good quality in terms of resolution, right? I mean, you can always pick photos that are a bit more, I guess, like blurry, and then, you know, those can still work, but especially for, say, a study. So before I continue, I'm just gonna tell you guys I'm using a blending stump right now, this one right here, just to kind of soften out some of the shadows that I see right here. But anyways, yeah, to go back to what I was saying, usually, especially for studies, right, you want to make sure that the lighting and the shadows are very distinct, and it's not just kind of like, say, like a flat shadow, or like, you also want to make sure that it's not overly highly exposed due to sunlight, right? So you want to make sure that there is no just patches of pure white or patches of pure darks. Yeah, finding references is a really tricky thing, right? But anyways, yeah, finding references is a really tricky thing. And you usually kind of want to make sure that, well, first of all, you never want to have any kind of filter over your reference, right? Because with a reference, we're already being alluded of a lot of details, because, you know, photography will flatten mostly a lot of colors and values and nuances that we usually can't pick up when we're studying from life. So my suggestion for that is, you know, you want to try to make it so that the photo is as true to life as possible in terms of value, right? So sometimes maybe like when I'm actually trying to pick a reference out, I might even actually kind of edit the photo in Photoshop just a little bit, not really playing around with filters, but more so in, you know, turning the lights a little dimmer and turning the darks a little lighter. That way it creates a bit more of a neutral, right? Anyways, and the reason why I picked this photo out of the references that you guys sent me is just because if you guys squint down, you know what I mean? You can still very much be able to see a dark gray and light aspect of the essential reference. But yeah, I mean, you can draw with any references, honestly, but I feel like, especially if you're not used to studying from life a lot, definitely try to pick references out that, I guess, resemble life a little bit more. But if I were to really give a good advice, is try to study from life as much as you can and try to avoid photos. Yeah, just because, you know, studying from life is the best kind of lesson that you can learn within your drawing and painting process that I feel would be beneficial.
Are you starting to think about proportion now, or are you still focused on darks and lights?
So I'm doing kind of both. I usually like to kind of break everything down in terms of light, dark, and medium shapes. So in proportions, I'm not really thinking of human anatomy in a way. I'm thinking of more so what are the shapes of light, what are the shapes of dark that I'm seeing, you know what I mean? And I'm going from large shapes to medium shapes to small shapes. It's kind of like those Russian dolls. Like if you know, every time you open one up, it's like a slightly smaller one inside, you open it up, slightly smaller one inside. It's kind of like that same mindset, right? Where you kind of want to start with a big overall shape, and then you slowly kind of want to get in there and, right? I see a lot of, you know, issue that I see with a lot of students is that, or a lot of artists in general, is that sometimes they tend to kind of first go in with like a large shape, and immediately they'll just go in with like small intricate details, right? And then there's going to be like a disconnect of form, and there's going to be a disconnect of values, because you're just like, you know what I mean? So it's important that we try to control ourselves in terms of doing things like that. So instead of just kind of going in and, I guess, going first, establishing like a large shape, and then immediately going in for the details, we want to like slowly create a transitional phase from large to medium to small shapes. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to continue to go in with my blending stump. And I'm just kind of knocking things back as I continue to pull forward. I am actually going to get started soon with getting in some of the lights, but as for right now, honestly, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to mainly get the darks and the mediums, and the medium values. You don't want to move too fast towards the lights, right? And I'm not even using an eraser right now because a blending stump is more than enough to help kind of lift and move the charcoal around the entirety of the paper. For those of you guys who do charcoal drawings, you guys probably have already gotten this experience before of doing stuff like this.
How do you, I mean, do you decide about like the portrait or like landscape? I mean, are you kind of, how do you decide the size of the portrait painting?
Oh, so are you talking about like the whole overall size, or are you talking about like
Yeah.
the orientation? Or both?
Yeah, the both. I mean, like,
Oh.
how do you go in your thinking process, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, like some subjects I feel like works better on smaller sizes. Some subjects work better on bigger sizes. So for this one, I had a 11 by 24, had an 11 by 20, sorry, 11 by 14 paper, and had one 11 by 14 paper, and I had one 9 by 12 paper. So I just kind of held the subject or the reference up and had two papers like, you know, side by side to each other. And, you know, I just felt like, at least for this reference, it would have fit more comfortably on the 11 by 14 paper. Does that kind of make sense? And in terms of how do I decide basically what orientation the paper is going to be in, it's actually very simple. It's I'm like taking a look at a reference, and I noticed that there's a lot of darks happening right here in the background, right? And there's a lot of areas of lights right here that's kind of drawing the attention upwards towards like kind of a diagonal, right? So, I mean, in this case, I just felt like it would have been better accentuated on a landscape. Of course, you know, you can probably do the same thing in a portrait orientation, but honestly, it's really just kind of like depending on the choices that you're making and the creative decisions that you're making on what it is you kind of want to depict with this drawing, right? Like, for example, I can very much say this can be a portrait if I don't just include a background and maybe include like a, you know, a downward vertical background, right? And it would have been like equally supported everything without much issues. So I think that's a little bit of a compositional personal choice, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking. That was a good question. Let's see. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of my I guess this is just a little piece of my Viva paper towel. And what it is I'm doing is I'm just kind of going in and slowly getting some of that light value in. And I'm actually slowly gonna go in with my kneadable eraser, my kneadable eraser. And then I'm slowly just gonna start by getting in some of the lights. And if you guys notice, I'm actually going in with a bit of a, I guess, hatching motion with my eraser, right? I want to treat the eraser as a drawing tool, which means I don't want to kind of treat it like, oh, well, this is for erasing, right? I want to treat it kind of like a drawing tool. That way I can still freely sculpt the form around. Right. Any questions, by the way, on what I'm doing?
Did you go to school for art? Because this is like flabbergasting. This is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's nothing yet. I did, it's weird. I did, but I wouldn't credit that school for anything that I know right now because, I mean, the school I went to is, I'll just say it doesn't matter. It's not like you guys are like the chair. It's called the Maryland Institute College of Arts. So it's like supposedly one of the top art schools, you know, I don't know if you guys heard of it or not, but it's like same ranked with schools like SAIC, like School of Arts Institute of Chicago, RISD, you know, like those kind of schools. It's like all in the same league, right? And like, it was an interesting experience. You know, I met a lot of friends there, but I didn't really learn anything in terms of actual painting or drawing techniques there. Besides just getting a thick skin about doing realism or about studying realism. You know, I proudly graduated with a 2.9 GPA because none of my professors wanted to give me A's because I was doing realism and not, you know, throwing you know, paint against like the canvas, and you know, like so they were kind of against it because it was mainly a modern art school, and a lot of modern art schools, like, they're very, I guess, adamant about descaling. I mean, it's been that way since like the 60s, you know, in many art schools where you won't really learn much techniques based around realism or, you know, much support. I mean, like when I was at school, I had to actually start my own portrait. I had to start my own portrait night because they had no model sessions, and I wanted to paint the model. So I, like, for the first half of the semester, I was just painting the model out of my own pocket and having people come and study the model with me. It wasn't a class, it was just like an open session. Like, yeah, people came and they were all illustrators too. None of them were fine artists like me. But yeah, I really wanted to learn this kind of stuff. So I just did a lot of digging online. And, you know, like during that time, there wasn't any, you know, like for example, I work for a Sentient Academy where we offer super affordable art workshops. You know, some of the teachers that they have, you know, like Josh Clare, Casey Childs, those are like Portrait Society masters, you know what I mean? Like, they're like people that I worship, and you can study with them as little as like $15 a month to get one of their courses because they believe in affordability. Unfortunately, when I was trying to learn this kind of stuff, like back in 2014, there was nothing like that online, you know? So I didn't have any money to take any actual workshops. So what I did was I just went on YouTube and I just, you know, have you guys ever seen like those DVDs that a lot of like the master painters like sell? You know, it's like, oh, learn, you know, yeah. So I didn't have money for those DVDs either, but I did watch those trailers for the DVDs, and that's how I learned. So I just dissected the trailers. And yeah, so, and of course, you know, there are a few workshops I attended before, not too many, maybe I could just count on like one hand. And those also were just kind of due to the kindness of the instructors. So for example, my first ever teacher was Daniel Keys. So he's like, you know, an avid, you know, person who's like together with like Richard Schmidt's group, you know, so they're like the Alla Prima gang, right? So he was offering this program called the Palette Project, where, you know, it was like this free, all expense paid workshop, you know, that was open to students who were 17 to 22. So I was able to kind of go and study with him based off of, you know, that. So, you know, I was able to kind of just still study with people based off of like their kindness or scholarship programs like that. But yeah, mainly I just had to kind of like teach myself. Actually, you know, a good way to learn, I can tell you guys a method that I used to kind of learn for free is I was studying in Maryland that time, so it was in the East Coast. And what does that mean? It means New York is just a Greyhound train, I mean a bus ride away, like an hour-and-a-half bus ride away. So what I did was I would, you know, during the weekends where I would like cut school sometimes, I would go on the Greyhound station. I would go to the Greyhound station and I go all the way to New York, and I go to places like the Art Students League or the or Grand Central Atelier, like all those like top ateliers in New York. And I will wait for their open model sessions, you know, because they have open model sessions where, you know, you can pay like what, 10, 15 bucks to go join. So I will wait for, you know, whenever they hosted stuff like that. And I would arrive there and I would just like, you know, like take 5 minutes or 10 minutes just to kind of scour around, see who's the best in that room. And I just like put my stuff right next to them. And I would like sneakily get glances to like what it is they're doing. And that allowed me to kind of, you know, impromptu, like, you know, like unofficially study with a lot of like the New York painters like Stephen Aseo, Max Ginsberg, David Caston, you know, so that was cool, you know. And then like eventually, like, you know, we became good friends, and they just kind of, it was funny because like they eventually, you know, when I was when I started becoming good friends with them, because, you know, we essentially all kind of got acquainted with the Portrait Society. So I would go to the Portrait Society at that time. Sometimes they do demonstrations and stuff. And then I would tell them the story, and then like they'll like, oh my God, you know, and they're like, oh, here, you can have my DVD. And like, you know, like they give me their DVD for free. And then when I watched it, it was like, I already knew what they were about to do, because apparently like throughout the study that I did, I kind of already understood like all their steps and processes. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, long story short, yeah, that's basically how I learned kind of what I did, how to paint at least, yeah.
That is interesting. Hey, Kai, I noticed on your website, you used to have a modeling session that people go there and draw from life. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it stopped because of COVID. Do you
Yeah.
have any plan of resuming it?
It's gonna resume when they find a vaccine for COVID.
Okay.
So it's out of my hand. I have to wait till the government tells us like when it's okay. Yeah, that was just one of the things that I kind of hosted every Thursday at my atelier. You know, it would be from like 7 all the way until like 10. Yeah, people will come and study the model. But it was fun. It was a good time. You know, so I mean, I don't know when we can ever open it again. I actually don't even know like if I'm gonna be in the Bay Area once this whole thing clears out, because I might be moving soon. But yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Curious, in the 70s, there used to be in the Bay Area, a figure painting tradition, I guess. Is that gone now? Or, I mean,
No, I don't. I mean, here's the thing. The Bay Area, especially around San Francisco, they still have a pretty good foundation and tradition in figure drawing and figure painting due to the Academy of Art being there, because of people like, you know, Zhao Mingwu, who's like a regular, like he taught at the Academy of Art University, and then a lot of people who study with him, like Henry Yan or, you know, Jeremy Mann, you know, they kind of uphold like the tradition of, say, like this realism tradition, like this appreciation of figure painting tradition, right? So I say like the Bay Area actually is still pretty strong in terms of that regards, which is why I enjoy being here. But yeah, it's definitely not common though, at anywhere else in the world. It's definitely not common. So I guess people are lucky here, you know. Yeah. Any questions, by the way, so far? No? No questions?
We are just mesmerized with your process. So we just my brain is not what I'm just looking at your you know, sketch and then portrait, and it's like unbelievable.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. We'll see how I go. Usually, we'll see how I can do in 1 hour. I don't know. It might be a mess. We'll see.
There was a class in Palo Alto Art Center, and there was this teacher. This is 7-8 years ago, and he used to have it's called circus. The class was circus, and he would have model will wear kind of very exotic clothes or some hat or something, and he will move, or he or she will move, and you have like 3 or 4 minutes to do the quick sketches.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
people like did collage. I mean, and he would just put projector, he would change lights, and it was like circus, really.
Yeah,
and it was a fun class. It was old
cool.
men. I took that class, and it was with charcoal I did, but a lot of people even did them. They cut the papers and collaged it, and some did the oil painting, and it's like just 3 to 5 minutes, and he would change position. So again, you do another sketch on the same paper or different, whatever you want to do. But it was fun, a lot of fun. We had great time. Yeah, it was the name was circus. The class was.
We actually had some models twice at our meetings that we did portraits, and she would change positions. But I don't know anybody that would do it. She had clothes on, of course, but I think people enjoyed it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
I would say if you guys wanted to do it. I just sat for a woman who was leading a class here in Sunnyvale. I think most of the people painted with oils. She lived further south than Sunnyvale, but she taught her class in Sunnyvale out of her garage.
Oh.
Well, we know now. Oh, now we know who can we call for if we need a model for our class sometime, you know.
I'm a professional at sitting still.
So I'm wondering how you're doing such a good job of getting it to look very much like the photo. Of course, I can't really see the photo directly, but that's always my struggle, is to get the person to look, or my painting to look like whatever image I'm starting with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, the best advice I can tell you about that is to drop that mindset, right? Because the more you're trying to make it look like, you know, a photo, or say for just like, you know, what you perceive, what you're looking at, you know what I mean? The less it's actually gonna look like that, you know, and the more it's gonna look like what you're imagining it's supposed to look like, right? So my biggest, you know, advice for that is try not to worry too much about, oh, how do I make this look like what I'm seeing, and instead just kind of distance yourself away from that. Pretend you're like an alien that's never seen, you know, human form, or that's never seen anything, right? And you're only kind of like breaking everything down in terms of like abstraction, because that's, you know, how, you know, right? Like if I were to show you an abstract painting, right? And I'm like, okay, here, copy this. You're not gonna say, well, you know, I feel like it's supposed to be like this. You know, you're not gonna have any thoughts because it's abstract. You have no connections to it. And you're gonna truthfully just try to take a look at the shapes, right? So I think that's, you know, the biggest thing that I would recommend you doing. It isn't really much of a technical issue. I feel like it's more of a mental issue, like a mindset in a way. So I feel like once you adapt that, you know, proper mindset, instead of, you know, drawing what you think you're seeing, but instead just kind of drawing exactly what you're seeing in terms of, and breaking them down in terms of shapes, the form should naturally start coming out, you know? Like I'm not really thinking about drawing this to look like whatever I'm looking at right there, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of looking at the shapes, and, you know, and I don't even know if like the shape is like coming out, but the fact that you're like saying, oh, it is, I'm like, oh, cool, awesome. Like I wasn't even like paying attention to that. I was just looking at the shapes, right? So it's kind of like, you know, imagine, you know, you want to kind of naturally draw it out instead of forcing it and pulling it out. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, so just try to, I guess, work on that mindset. And my honest best suggestion is next time when you're drawing anything, just keep repeating to yourself like, oh, this is not this. This is like, you know, look for like other weird odd shapes within the form, and say like, oh, well, this shadow here looks a little like a dog's snout. Oh, I'm gonna try getting that dog's snout in there. Or, oh, this light looks a little like a bird's beak. You know, I'm gonna try getting that bird's beak in, you know what I mean? So try to think of it in another way. That way your form will naturally come out. Does that, I don't know, does that make sense in a way?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's very helpful.
Good, cool. I'm glad. Yeah, thank you. That was a good question. All right. So right now what I'm doing is I'm still just kind of, let's see. Okay. All right, cool. We have 30 minutes left.
I'm actually doing this same drawing you're doing while I'm following you.
Oh yeah? Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
It doesn't look like yours, but it's been
How's it going so far?
got black hands.
Well, hopefully you're having fun with it. The best thing to honestly do, guys, is just try to have fun with it, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, we shouldn't take drawing so seriously. I tell this to my students, you know, like at the end of the day, you're literally just like someone with like a stick of burnt wood, like dirtying a paper. You know, like why are we treating it like rocket science? It shouldn't be treated like rocket science. And you're literally just like engaged in just drawing shapes. You're literally just kind of like a kindergartner, like with like a burnt piece of wood, like just, you know what I mean? It just looks a little bit more neat than what a kindergartner would do. But I think the sooner we can kind of adopt those kind of mindsets as opposed to like, oh, this is super hard, or oh, you know, this is supposed to be like super challenging. Like, you know, the more we think that's challenging, you know, the more we're gonna like feel challenged, and you know, the less it's gonna feel possible to kind of achieve, right? So that's my, I guess, my main advice on that. Yeah. Cool.
You know what, Kai? I think that's so easy for you. It's amazing, you know.
Oh.
If I'm doing so, I will feel like it's so frustrated. I couldn't make it right. To you, seems like a lot of fun. It's so easy, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it just comes. I mean, it's not easy. It definitely isn't easy. It just comes with you know, the more you do it, it just makes more sense. But it's definitely not easy. Like if I start going like, oh, this is super easy, I'm gonna like just start flopping around. Then my drawing is gonna look really awful. Trust me on that. You know what I mean? Like to me, this is not easy. To me, this is like I'm just through practice. I just got better at hiding the fact that you know, there are still some things I don't, you know, right? Like I'm still struggling with too. But you know, due to just kind of experience and troubleshooting, I just got a little better with dealing with it without too much frustration, right? But yeah, you never want it to feel too easy, actually. The moment where you feel like everything's easy is the moment where it'll be really easy for you to kind of plateau or go into kind of a trap of not improving anymore, right? I've seen that actually happen with a lot of like really good artists that I know. You know, like they get too comfortable and then like their stuff 5 years ago looked like 10 times better than the stuff they're doing right now. It's crazy. Like, and I'm not gonna name any names because a lot of these artists are like my mentors, so I'm not gonna name their names. But we know, I know, like, you know, yeah. It's just,
I'm curious. You know, I've heard, you know, some artists. Every artist has their strengths, and then every artist has their weaknesses. Like some artists, they just don't know how to do hands very well, or some artists are bad with ears or something. Is that sort of like something you find true, or?
So that goes back to my saying, like, you know, what is the difference between, say, for example, like we're talking about artists that can't do ears or that can't do hands. Why are the hands and ears different than the nose or the eye, the nose or like the eye or the face, right? It's all shapes. If you break it down, it's all shapes. There should be no like, oh, I can only do mountains, I can't draw trees, or I can only draw like portraits, I can't draw like landscapes, or I can only draw landscapes, I can't draw still life. Like it doesn't matter. Like, you know, my teacher Daniel Keyes, he says the people who say they can only do one thing, can't do the other thing, they just hide their, you know, their mistakes better in that one thing, where they're going through like a formula in that one particular subject. And the moment when you see something like that, that means like that person needs to get out of their comfort zone and actually go ahead and like, right? Like the best advice, I mean, the best example I can kind of give for that is like my teacher, Daniel Keyes. If you guys look his work up, Daniel, K-E-Y-S, Daniel Keyes, you can see he mainly paints flowers, you know? I mean, there are some figures now, but like before, he only painted flowers. And, you know, he was telling us during Palette Project that he's like, listen, guys, like, you know, everything is just, because someone else actually brought up the same question you brought up and asking him. And what he said was like, listen, guys, you know, you should not be, there should be no like, oh, I can only do this, I can't do that. You know, like you should be able to do anything, because as long as you're looking at things as shapes, you know, there shouldn't be anything you can't do, right? He's like, look, I'll prove it to you guys. He's like, next year, I'm going to enter the Portrait Society of America, and I don't paint portraits at all. Like I probably maybe painted like 3 in my lifetime, and I'm not confident in them at all. Not because you know, they look bad, but just because I don't do them enough, right? He's like, but I'm going to enter the Portrait Society next year, right? For the next painting I'm going to do a large one when I get home, and I'm going to enter it. And whatever that painting comes out looking like, I'll enter it. The very next year, he not only made it into the top 100, he got the grand prize. He took home like $20,000, $30,000. He beats like so many like renowned portrait painters who's been like added decades at their like portrait craft. And this guy, who he literally was upstage, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here, because like he was, you know, and that really shows like he literally just entered as like a lesson to his students, and he ended up like beating everyone, right? So, I mean, that just kind of shows you, right? Subject is all relative. Like different subjects are all relative. We should never compartmentalize them in a way where we're like thinking like, oh, well, you know, I'm only good at this one thing. I can't do the other thing, you know? I mean, like this recently, I got into like a habit of painting stuffed animals just because I think they're fun. And they sell pretty easily. So I've been doing that. And I've never painted stuffed animals before, but, you know, because I just treat them like anything else, you know, like I don't treat them like any other, I don't think like, oh, how do I get like this plushy like feeling? Like it just kind of happens, right? People even comment saying, oh, I love how you got that plushy feeling. I never, like, you know, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just thinking of everything as shapes, right? And not thinking too hard into like what I feel like, you know, I'm seeing. Instead, just thinking in terms of like, okay, what I am seeing. Does that kind of make sense? I don't know. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. All right. Any other questions, by the way? Any questions whatsoever? No? All right. So
I just noticed your hands don't look dirty. And usually when I think of charcoal, I think of, you know, dirty hands and stuff. It's not wiping off of your...
No, because I'm not, my hand isn't resting on the paper. Like I'm lifting it so that it's, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like the stigma of like, you know, like not just charcoal, but also oil too. Like, I don't know, like that stigma of, oh, like oil is like, you're gonna get messy with oil. It's gonna get everywhere. Where like charcoal's gonna get everywhere. I used to think that was true too until I met my other teacher, Timothy Reese. That guy paints and draws in a 3-piece suit, like an expensive 3-piece suit. He oil paints in a 3-piece suit. You know, a life-size painting, he still paints in a 3-piece suit, right? And then like one day I just asked him, I was like, Tim, why? Because like that time I didn't really understand either. I was like, why? You know, like, man, what if you get dirty? And he was like, actually, you know, the suit actually helps him concentrate a lot more because, you know, when he has the suit on, he's 100% mentally focused. He's 100% mentally there. He's not gonna wander off because he's like, I don't wanna get my suit dirty. You know what I mean? So he's gonna always be mentally focused on his craft, on his, whatever it is that he's doing. And, you know, I feel like to have that kind of concentration is definitely something that's crucial to an artist, right? Like they say you can let your mind wander too. That's true, you know, that is good. But I feel like, especially when we're doing a study or doing any form of study, I feel like it's important not only to be physically there, but also mentally there, right? We want to always constantly be mentally present. So that kind of goes back to that idea of mentally presence, I guess, or mental presence. Yeah.
When he's wearing the suit, does his paintings look more classy and stuff, or?
Yeah. All these guys, their paintings look like they've been done in the 19th century. Yeah, you can search him up too. Timothy Reese. Timrees. Yeah, he was my second mentor because he was there teaching with Daniel at the Palette Project. So I got to see him too.
What was that thick piece of charcoal you just used?
Oh, that was just like a thick piece of compressed charcoal. Yeah. I don't know, I have like this whole box of charcoal that I'm using right now. And I'm just kind of picking and choosing things to kind of work from as I go along the process of doing this.
So I have a kind of a weird question. So have you ever tried using the graphite sticks?
Graphite.
I mean, it's not exactly like a pencil, but like, you know, the graphic center that we have on a pencil.
Yeah.
We can get them like sticks. So does that actually create the same effect that you are using as in a charcoal, or what do you think?
So, I mean, I think you can even get the same effect I'm getting right now with the graphite, you know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it's all tools. I've actually personally never used graphite sticks before, but, you know, like, I don't feel like they should be any different than pure graphite or just pure charcoal, right? Especially if you were to still utilize the proper values in formations. Yeah, like I don't think like material really matters too much, you know, especially if the drawing is correct, especially if, you know, you have everything there, everything that needs to be there is there. I feel like the drawing should end up kind of revealing itself to you without much issue, right? Like I remember like Stephen Aseo, this New York painter, who literally paints like Rembrandt when he was like 19, and he's like just like a god right now, right? He literally was like saying like, you know, because people keep asking him like, you know, what kind of brushes does he use, or what kind of material, what kind of oil brand does he use? And he's like, listen, like I can take a piece of rock, go out in the pavement and just draw something right there, and that will still have the same, that can still have the same effect as some of my pencil or charcoal drawings. You know what I mean? So he's like, at the end of the day, the artist is the one that creates, not the materials. The materials is just, you know, I honestly just tell my students that materials are a luxury, right? Because, right, like I just use like really cheap materials. I don't even like know what materials I use sometimes, because sometimes I just like have, especially back when I was at school, I just picked stuff up from the studio floors and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like a charcoal. I guess I'll just use that for this drawing, you know? Yeah, I think that's one of the, I don't know, did that make sense? I don't know if I answered that question correctly or not.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks.
Once you become proficient, then I think we are the beginners and amateurs are always like bogged down in materials and techniques, and, you know, I think it's just once you become proficient, maybe it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You know, it really doesn't matter too much. Yeah, because yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. No.
What is the age group normally you would recommend for the children to use the charcoal?
Whenever they feel ready to, or whenever they want to tackle that. That's my recommendation. Because I mean, in my atelier, if you guys check out the atelier that I run, our Facebook, I mean, I think Angela, I think you shared the link, right, to the Instagram. But if you guys check it out, you know, like, you know, they're producing pretty high quality stuff. And my youngest student actually is it's like only 10 years old, you know, and she's already doing stuff that, you know, like they don't really even teach in college. So, I mean, it really depends. I mean, like, usually I think 10 and above is like good, because like they'll start kind of, I guess, gaining some form of recognition on just like what they're doing, right? So I say like 10 and above usually is like a good bet, but it really depends, you know. Like, so I can say 10 and above, but like
to start with, if they go with 2B, 6B, and 4B pencils, will that be recommended, or straight away with the charcoal?
I always recommend starting with graphite. Actually, graphite is the because there's no, like, you know, loopholes in graphite. You know, you can't just blend and stuff like in graphite, right? And graphite is just kind of there, and you kind of can't rely on some of the you know, some special effects that charcoal can really do. Charcoal, I actually usually recommend students doing after they already mastered a bit of graphite. That way, you know, because charcoal is actually a good gateway into oil painting, you know, because of, you know, the way that you're taking away, pulling and pushing the darks and the lights. It's a reminiscent of oil painting. So I usually feel like it's usually a little better to kind of use graphite at the beginning and use charcoal when you feel a little bit more confident and when you want to start transitioning into oil paints. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. Thank you. Thank you for that question, by the way. Anyone else? I think I have like 15 minutes left. Try to make this fast.
I think there is a show in Britain about the portrait painting and landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing. I just enjoy it so much, you know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It's a very interesting show.
And they mix it up. They have some like the professional artist, and then there are amateurs, like, you know, the who learned at home.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they
Actually,
mix.
one of my friends, he's atelier trained. He actually went to compete. Ewan, the guy who he has like orange curly hair, did like realism, like classical realism. He went to compete actually. I think he recently blew up on the online actually because, well, a few years ago, because he was doing like a self-portrait of himself while looking at the mirror and just like, you know, painting like that. So that was him. So he went and competed in that one before. And he said it was interesting experience. Yeah.
Anybody can join your atelier.
Anyone, yeah. Most of the students who came to my atelier had no training actually, had no experience in art whatsoever. Yeah. Basically,
And do you have like a weekly? I mean, I haven't checked it. Sorry, I'm just asking you here. I should go to website, but
oh yeah. We do. I'm actually about to, you know, I'm not really focused too much on the atelier right now. You know, if you are interested, I actually recommend you checking out my Sentient Academy courses. Those are on sentientacademy.com because I'm definitely putting a lot more energy into those courses right now because a lot of my atelier students, they're like, I haven't gotten really a new student for a while. So it's all just old students and they're all just kind of doing their own thing right now, right? But the Sentient Academy, I have like a course with them where I uploaded like, you know, high quality 4K, you know, videos on, you know, portrait, portrait foundations, right? So I think you can check that out, and that's only $15 a month for a membership. So I think it definitely is the cheaper option too, compared to my atelier, which is like $40 a class.
okay,
Check that out first, you know.
definitely. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm really bad businessman. I'm telling you all the cheaper things that I offer. But no, it's true though. It's true. Like I don't really care about that. You can check that out. For Sentient Academy, I actually do bi-weekly demonstrations with them. So I do a demonstration of oil and charcoal every 2 weeks of the same subject every month. So that's something that you guys can actually check out if you are interested in looking.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think some of the paintings in the backgrounds are just demonstrations I did for Sentient Academy. All right. Any questions so far?
Well, I think the problem I'm having mostly here is I can't keep my hand off. I'm off the from smearing what I've accomplished.
Oh yeah. So you just want to elevate your hands in a way where that's not happening. Like you want to elevate your arms and hands in a way where the charcoal isn't really touching your hands. Sometimes you can actually use like, you know, I use like my pinky as kind of like a tripod, and I just kind of like rest it like over here at this side. And I do what I have to do. That usually helps too. Yeah. Any other questions? It's like 9 minutes left, so let's see what we can do with that time.
So if you do it in oil, then do you go through the same process?
Yeah. Oil, charcoal, they're all the same process, which is just breaking things down in terms of shape. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Like like I can tell, like, you know, I was doing like the backlit demonstration before for some of my private students, and you know, it was a bit of a muted value, kind of like this too. Actually, right here is painting that drop. I'll show you guys real quick. But yeah, at the end, you know, it could end up looking like something like this, you know. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, right?
I think I saw there is a portrait of a pet you know, your pet can be portrayed. So there is somebody who has started a business, and my neighbors got it, their pet photograph. This, you send it and they send you back the oil painting. So they spend a lot of money to get it done. So I think it's a big, I think somebody has started that business, you know. I'm just making comment, you know.
Pet portraits? Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
that's a common business to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that, you know, there are
I'm
things like
sharing
that.
my picture.
Huh?
I'm sharing my picture. Okay, I'm muted.
Hold on, Chris. Let me spotlight you so that everyone can see. 1 second.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Good job, Chris.
How did it feel drawing with charcoal?
Chris, you're talking on mute.
You were muted, Chris. We didn't hear you.
I said my nose is too long, but it was fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Kai, when I do the pastel or charcoal, and I feel like they have a lot of the dust or the powder flying around in the air.
Yeah.
It happened to you?
Sometimes, yeah, that could happen. Because, you know, like, you know, charcoal, you know, you can't make sure that it's 100% clean. So that kind of stuff definitely could happen. I guess it really isn't any way to kind of avoid it. I guess you just have to kind of deal with it and just make sure that you don't get too messy with everything.
Okay. Or maybe, I use the, different material. I'm just saying that maybe different charcoals or different pastel you can buy from the commercial store, and that will be help, to avoid all the dust around.
I mean, I know Nitram, their charcoals are pretty hard, and a lot of ateliers use them because they act more like graphite. So you can check them out, Nitram charcoals, Nitram. So you can give those a try. I'm not sure. I don't really, never really used those before. But, you know, whatever works or whatever, you know, if you find a material that works, you know, just stick with it, right? Because at the end of the day, materials are just very much the vehicle that helps drive the real objective, which is just getting the drawing or painting in one piece.
Okay.
Any other questions, by the way? 5 more minutes left.
How would you recommend us to go through Strata Challenge? I know you've been doing it for twice this year.
Wait, who's talking? Wait.
This is Angela.
Angela, oh, how do you know about the Strata Challenge? Oh, because you saw me doing it?
Yeah, you're doing it, and Sentient Academy broadcast about it. So
yeah,
we joined too.
Yeah, it's because of the creator of Sentient Academy, Brian Markaler, is the creator of Strata. So yeah. So I mean, of course I have to, because, you know, I work with him. So I was like, yes, you should do it. But in all honesty, yes, you should do it. It's honestly the best thing you could do. And remember the rules. Draw from life every day. Draw from life or paint from life. You know, and it really it's helpful. It's I would highly recommend it to anyone who's looking to, you know, just kind of not only just get better, but also to practice consistency. You know what I mean? Because that's something I feel like a lot of artists lack, is consistency. You know, they do something one day and then they just kind of take a break the other day, and then, like, you know, it becomes and then you start feeling like art's a chore in a way sometimes, and then it's like it becomes even worse. So I mean, and I think that really just comes from the stigma of us trying to do good, We're trying to make a good piece of work. We're trying to make a good piece of art, right? But with a Strata challenge, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, you just have to paint something for that day. You know, you just have to get your hours in, get your mileage in. And I really appreciate Sentient doing something like that, and Strata doing something like that, because it really helps people kind of understand the whole big picture of things, which is, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're painting a masterpiece or not. I mean, like, take a look at some of the artists in the past: Sargent, Soraya, Bouguereau, Fetchin. I guarantee you guys can only probably think of maybe 5 of their most iconic works. They definitely didn't just paint 5 paintings in their lifetime. No way. Sargent definitely did not just paint, like, even the pieces they have in museums are probably just 5% of all his pieces that he's ever done. They're just 5%. Think about that. And every museum you go to, there's probably going to be one Sargent painting at least. So his paintings spread throughout, but even then, that's only like 5 to 10%. How crazy is that, you know? So it's like, we want to, you know, stop with the stigma of like, oh, everything we paint must be a masterpiece. How do you even know? Sometimes, like, you're painting, you don't even know it's going to look good, and it ends up looking good, right? Like, half of the paintings I do, I didn't expect them to, like, even fall into that category of good. Some of the paintings I do, some of them have gone on to win awards, and those are like literally just like studies that I do, you know what I mean? So you never really know. So I think Star Challenge, go back to that question, is definitely one of the best, if not one of the best things to do as an artist, especially if you're, it doesn't matter what level you are, you know, definitely something I highly, highly, highly recommend to everyone. Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
I just want to say, vote for Larry Klein for mayor, so that we, since he helped us get that $5,000, he deserves our vote.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Thanks for
He
bringing
got
that
us
up.
to do the mural down at the fairgrounds. Larry Klein.
Yes.
By the way, I am the treasurer for his campaign.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I so I'm just side note, but anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just putting some final touches.
How long does it usually take for you to do a portrait like the one you're doing and be happy with it and call it good, call it done?
Honestly, probably at least 2 hours. So like twice the amount of time right now. Yeah. Usually an hour and a half to 2 hours is like a sweet spot. 1 hour is like kind of rushing it, but you know, I can still make something a little decent out of it. But probably there's like a lot of things that, you know, I wouldn't be super happy with, but it's like decent, whatever. So yeah. Usually my sweet spot is like 2 to 3 hours actually. Okay. All right, cool. So I think that's about time. I don't want to go too overboard. So yeah, cool. Hopefully you guys kind of get some of the gist on controller portraits. Any last questions before I just call it?
Will you spray this to fix it?
I don't really spray my drawings. I only spray them if someone buys it. And if not, like usually I just kind of leave it in my studio. And
But then this disappears.
oh, then I'll just repaint it. I mean, then I'll just redraw it.
Really amazing.
All right.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
For sure.
This is so good.
Thank you.
Yay.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Wow.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Cool. I guess that's my time.
can you show a couple of your paintings? Like, I mean, around
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
this camera. Sorry.
Yeah. Let me go grab some real quick. I mean, what kind of paintings do you guys want to see? Like portraits, like anything? All right, I'll grab like one of each subject then.
Okay.
Grab a pointer, grab a 1 second. Oh. All right, I'll show you like maybe like 4 or 5. All right. Let's show you guys this. All right. So.
Sorry, I just didn't mean that he has to like. I thought it's something around. You know, I didn't mean to.
It's all around. I just have to.
It's okay. Sorry about it.
Yeah, okay. So here's just like a regular portrait painting that I have done.
Oh my God!
Wow. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Done life in under like 3 hours. So.
Ah.
Here's like a little lion sculpture that I did in Los Angeles when I went to the Japanese tea garden. So this is just kind of me going around, playing around with light, trying to emulate that kind of light that's happening. Right.
Beautiful.
Here's a dog, just because it's a dog. I don't know why.
Beautiful. Wow. Oh, that's amazing. It looks so alive, and I know it's so wonderful. Wow, look at the eyes.
So it's
oh my God, looks so good.
Show us animal.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Here's a half body that I did. This one actually
wow.
exhibited somewhere in Pacific Art Week,
Beautiful.
some other places. And all right, and 2 more. So one, this is just like an example of a super small sketch. It's like a 6 by 6 by 8. So this is just like a tree outside of my my house.
Wow.
So yeah, a little tiny PleinAir. And last but not least, this is just something fun I did. I don't really do fan art, but I did this one because I just fell in love with the character when I saw it. But it's who can recognize him?
Baby Yoda!
That is amazing. Oh my God, I love the light. Oh, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
painting him in a way.
Beautiful.
Oh,
how
very
cute.
nice.
Beautiful.
But yeah, so this couple of my work.
Wow.
To show you.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
So talented you are.
Oh no, I'm not
Yeah.
talented. I'm just practice. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, thank you, Angela, for inviting me. It's been a pleasure to kind of be here.
No problem. Really appreciate your time.
Of course.
And we really
Yes,
learned
thank
a
you.
lot today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes,
So much.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thoroughly
you.
enjoyed it.
So, Angela, should I still stay or should I
Let me pin you because we're gonna shift gear to the monthly competition.
Mhm.
So Andrea, are you ready? Maybe you can start with how to vote.
Sure. I'm trying to share my screen. Everything good?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, awesome.
It's
So
loading.
if you go to the Sunnyvale Art Club group Facebook page, so not the Sunnyvale Art Club, but the Sunnyvale Art Club group page, I will post every month like a section that looks like this. So this is the blue section for October, and I'll try and use this starburst just as a recognizable placeholder. And there's a whole separate one for the gold section, again with the starburst. And when it gets time to vote, again on the same Facebook page will be a link to a Google Docs page. All you have to do is click on this, either click on the word here or click on the image, and it will bring you to this page. And just click once in the blue section and once in the gold section. That's all you have to do. If you get stuck, if you can't find these posts from me, They seem to show up under announcements. So if you go up here and you click on announcements, I just clicked. That's what this looks like. Okay, so the entries, let's go through the gold section first. There's just the placeholder that was from a wonderful light show in Montalvo. God, this guy was amazing. Okay, why is it not forwarding? Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna have to move my, okay. This is Somewhere in Half Moon Bay from Robin Allison. Ooh, so pretty. Also from the gold section, from me, I did something called Golden Bamboo. Robin's was watercolor. Mine started out with watercolor and then I started going willy-nilly and I added pencil and paper and vinyl, blah, blah, blah. This one's gonna be hanging up in red black starting tomorrow. Fall Colors in Vermont. Kentucky. It's really pretty. And Angela, do you pronounce your name Sue?
Yes, Xu in Chinese.
Another beautiful watercolor. So this is your inspiration here, right? And this was your painting in the background?
Yes, that's my Strata challenge. I paint from life. I just pick up leaf from the tree and then buy a pumpkin.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious about this Strata challenge. Seems like it would be a good exercise. And from Gita, we have Changing Colors of the Bosnian Countryside, also watercolor. I think we have another one. Yep, Donna Abernathy, Fall Grasses. Oh, this is oil. Okay, and what I see is drum roll from the gold section. By a landslide, it is Fall Colors in Vermont from Kentucky. Where'd it go? Sorry. Yep, there it is. Beautiful. Yay! Congratulations! So you get to hang this in the place of honor at the bean scene. I am the artist who has a painting in that spot right now. So we can meet anytime and do the swap.
I think Kentucky is not in the meeting, so maybe you guys can email exchange. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
No problem.
Okay, let's go back to the how do I get out of here? Okay, let's go to the blue section. There's the placeholder. We have Mary Williamson with Quiet Fall.
That's really nice.
What happened? Sorry. Mary Williamson with Quiet Fall. Jenny Tang with Autumn Fairy Tale. Yuan Chen with Quiet Beauty in the City. And Chris with Fall is Here. Yay! Okay, the winner is Quiet Fall by Mary Williamson. Go back to that one. That one. Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations, everybody. I think Mary's also not in the meeting, is she?
Yes, Mary's not here today.
I will let her know.
Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to everyone who entered.
Congratulations to the winners.
Let me get out of here. How do we stop sharing. Here we go. There we go. You can have the screen back.
Thank you. So while after I was announcing the winner, I launched a poll for today's meeting, and it would be highly appreciated if you can let us know how you think about this meeting. And it won't take a lot of time, just
I can't
quick.
make it submit. Oh, it won't submit.
What's that, Chris?
I can't make it submit after I checked it.
Oh,
It won't submit. It doesn't click on submit.
Yeah, me neither.
oops, what's going on?
Seemed to work fine for me if everything was submitted.
What?
The poll, it seemed to work fine for me.
My poll looked incomplete.
Is there more than 2 things? Oh, that's because I didn't do all of it. There's more.
Angela, where did you post it? Because I closed it when I was showing the paintings and now it's gone.
Can you repost it?
Oh, okay.
In the bottom, there's participants, polls, chat. I think if you click polls.
I didn't go far enough, is why I didn't submit before. I just did 2 things.
Got it. Got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. And next month, we invited an artist. She's out in Utah. And thanks to COVID, now we're virtual. So we are able to invite artists far away from Bay Area. So I really appreciate your time joining us today. And if you have any question or announcement, this is the time to share with us.
So you said I should talk to you about my bill. Should I send it to you or should I send it to Penny?
Let's talk in the email with Penny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send an email to you and Penny.
Yes. Thanks, Chris.
I was scrambling around looking for the link for this meeting. Is it always going to be in the newsletter from now on? I was looking for an email.
Yes,
okay.
It will be in newsletter. And you should receive an invitation from me by email too. And if
Yeah,
not,
I don't
just
know.
shoot me an email and I'll send or just share the link.
No worries.
I don't know. I didn't, I had to like search for it. So I don't know whether I didn't get it in email. So I think I looked it in the newsletter and then PDF and then like go. So I think there might be some people had the same issue.
I think this invite was in the October newsletter. That was actually the best place to find it. But I mean, I think one of the emails said that to look in that newsletter. So that's how I actually found it. But I think next time we can just actually copy paste it. If that is easier, we can just send it through just a couple of days before. That should be okay.
Yeah, good suggestion. And I will also post on Facebook. If you couldn't find it, look for announcement under Facebook.
Yeah, I didn't get an email, but I found it on Facebook.
Oh.
Easy to find.
Sounds like the trick is multiple places.
Yes. Alrighty, I guess that's all for today. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody next month.
Great, thank you, Angela. That was fantastic.
Yes,
Thank you. It was a great,
That was good.
great meeting. Yes, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Angela.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.